recording, just so we have it. Your book is about the family business?
Yes, yes. Actually, our business is related to the family business. We are manufacturer of automotive parts in Pakistan in rubber, plastic, and sheet metal. And I myself, I've done my master's from University of Sheffield in the UK. So when I joined my business, I thought that people from the second generation need to have some idea about how family business is. So that is what I'm writing about.
So are you interested in like the psychology of it, or the legal aspects, or all the aspects of doing a family business?
Yeah, I've actually jotted down some points of what are the expectations from the family about the business. How about you think when the third generation is coming, or maybe yeah, psychology, yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about family businesses in terms of gender is when there's only a daughter, then
Yeah.
the daughter is allowed to take over the family business. But if there's a son, then it usually goes to the son.
Yeah, yeah. In our case, like we are four siblings. Three of us are brothers, and we have a sister. So sister is also part of the business, although not directly, but she helps us with our electronic troubleshooting and some of the human resource work.
Great, 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 great. So this book is about how families apply world religions. So
Okay.
I'm interested in Islam. So any questions about what we're doing? And Asad, I need you, because your face is half cut off.
Okay. No, it's pretty much clear. Like you want to know how we implement the religion and how we basically teach our children, right? So the foremost rule is that children learn from observing, right? So you give them the environment from that they observe and adopt. And the beauty of our religion is that it's so complete. It actually provides us with guidelines of how to, raise the children and how you will slowly tell them about the religion. For example, like from the age of 0 to 7, it is that in our religion that we are instructed that, you should play with them, you should build a connection with them. At that age, you cannot tell them, okay, this is Islam and you have to do this and you have to pray. No, you just have to build a connection with them. You play with them, you don't scold them, you just emotionally and physically be available for them from 0 to 7. After 7 to 14, it is the age that they're aware of the environment, they're understanding certain things. So that is when you teach them what is right and what is wrong in a very polite way. You just do not instruct them. You just tell them, okay, this is haram, this is halal, we do this, they do that. So we just, compare different religions, also tell them, okay, for example, we celebrate Eid, they celebrate Halloween. So you should do this, you shouldn't do that. So we just start introducing them little tidbits of our religion. That is from age 7 to 14. And sports is also an essential part guided in our religion by our prophet. It's not like, just strict rules that, you should do this and this is not allowed, this is not allowed. Sports is also very beneficial in terms of team building, sportsmanship, and especially focused has been by our prophet, has been on swimming, archery, and horse riding. It helps you physically also to physically remain fit, and also makes you strong mentally also, and inculcates teamwork, sportsmanship, and such qualities in you. So this is
don't
also
forget camel riding, because the prophet's first wife rode camels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Camel riding and horse riding.
Horse riding.
All together, yeah.
So and again, environment comes part with it. You cannot just leave the environment. You do one thing and you tell them, oh, don't listen to the music, and you are listening to it. So you need to, as a parent, you need to observe the same set of rules and guidelines and give them certain boundaries in terms of making friends and following a certain trend. And especially in the age of social media, it's really important that you keep an eye on them, and there should be parental guides and controls specifically, because it's the age where everything is open, everybody is globally linked. So it's very important to tell them, yes, be friends with everybody. Our religion never says, okay, do sit in a corner and do not be friends with this and that religion people. No, it's not like that. You can be friends with everybody, but you need to have your certain rules and regulations, and you should have certain boundaries attached. That's it. Okay, so after the age of, like, let's say 14 till 21, I would say a child reaches a age of puberty. They have developed a sense of decision making. They are pretty much independent. They're in a phase where they think they know a lot of things, and they should decide things for themselves. At that point, our religion instructs us, just tell them. You've already told them what is right and wrong. You just advise them. You don't force anything. In our religion, there's nothing called as force. That, there's no stick and carrot rule that no, you have to do this, otherwise I'm not going to send you to the school or freeze your pocket money or such. That no, you just advise them, keep advising them. And it's the critical years. Obviously, from the initial years, if you have a good bond with them, you're friends with them, so obviously they will listen to you somehow. And if they have any argument and they do not agree to certain things to some extent, then there's a relaxation. Nicely, politely, you can explain to them, and eventually they will see what is right and wrong. So after years like 14 to 21 onwards, you keep advising them, and then leave it to them. They follow it, they don't follow it. So that's pretty much about it. And if I talk about general things, what happens in Pakistan is that we enroll our kids to the school, and then we hire a Quran teacher, and then he, makes the children study and learn Quran side by side. In your school there is Islamic studies, so they get to know about religion pretty much to that extent.
Similarly, like, can I add something?
Yeah, and also tell me these stages, is that in the Quran specifically, or is it in Hadith?
Yeah, these stages are in Hadith. These are said, but these are the words of our Prophet. These are the proper Hadith reference, not just I'm saying that. It is a proper guideline by our Prophet.
Similarly, like I would like to add, special respect is being given to the elders. For example, if your name is Gail, so it is very, very common. Like I used to work in the UK also. My a person whom I was reporting to, he was an elder person. He told me, like, I used to call him by his name. I said, no, that is not what my family has taught. I am supposed to call you as sir. Even in your case, I won't be really confident saying you as by your name. It would be Miss Gail, or maybe sometime we make relationships like, okay, Gail, Aunt Gail. So that just to give respect to the people who are elder than you. And similarly, that is being taught around, because most of the Muslim families, or maybe Pakistani families, they live in the close family culture, where the parents also live with us together. So that is why they need to learn to respect them also.
Yeah. How old are your children now?
The eldest is around 5 years. The one younger than him is around 3 years, and the youngest is around 1 year.
Oh, I didn't know you had 3 now. Oh my goodness. So you have boy, and then what are boy, girl, what's the number?
Yeah, all 3 are boys. All 3 are boys.
Oh my goodness. Are you
so
finished?
You know it's at home. It's at home. It's now 4 against 1. Yeah.
Team boys going strong.
Yeah.
And plus you have a dog. And you have a dog too.
No. We don't.
Oh, I thought I heard barking.
No. The kids are playing around.
At 10 o'clock at night. Oh my goodness.
Actually,
we can hear.
They like for example, whenever they go to their grandparents' home, so that is not normal routine. It is a special love of the grandparents. They sit together, they are playing around with them.
Okay, another interesting point which I found out I would love to share with you is I recently found out that, and it's a reference of a hadith, right? Our Prophet ﷺ said it, that even we're not allowed to hit the babies or children or get angry at them when they're crying. And it is said that for the first 4 months of crying, they are professing the unity of Allah. The next 4 months of crying is basically they're sending blessings on our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the next third 4 months of crying is basically baby is praying for the parents.
How
It is
nice.
not that I'm saying that. Yeah, so that is a very beautiful point I found out, because when I had 3 boys, I used to get pissed off, like why are they crying, and I just spank them a little, or maybe sometimes I used to get really annoyed and frustrated that they're continuously crying. But in our religion, crying also has a purpose. It's not just they're crying. So that's something about it. And also, when we treat them nicely, we kiss them or we play with them, we have a reward for that. It's not just you are doing that just because every next person is doing that. We have a reward for them. Then also, it is instructed that, for example, when you're coming home, it's for the elders. When you're coming home, greet them, especially say salam to them. When you will do that, eventually, when they will grow up, they will do the same.
Right.
So
Are you
yeah.
living with parents, or do you live just nuclear family?
with just the family, the immediate family. We recently separated. Yeah, it's no more the joint family, nuclear family.
Oh, but at one point you were living with parents?
Just a year back, just a year or two back.
Yeah,
we moved.
2 years back.
Yeah.
Did they help with taking care of the babies?
Yeah, definitely. That comes with our culture.
Even now, whenever she has a habit of okay, Asad, I love desserts, and when you used to have me time together, so we can leave the
Our kids
children,
with the parents.
our kids to the grandparents' home, and we can enjoy our time out. Yeah.
Great. Let's go back to your childhoods. How did your parents instruct each one of you, and how has your understanding of Islam changed as you grew up?
Well, talking about me, so I would say that generally with my parents was that they were in the phase of, studying themselves also. Like they were studying about religion also. They eventually moved from, a very broad-minded people to, started slowly studying about the religion and got to know so many things about religion. So they were also in the phase of changing themselves. So for us, it was we were sent to school and there was Islamiyat, and then we used to come back from school and study from a Quran tutor, and pretty much it. But yeah, I used to live with my grandmother also, so she used to practice a lot of religious things, like and tell us also that when you're eating food, you should say Bismillah and wash your hands, and ending food, there's a dua for everything. And we're traveling in the car, so you have to recite the dua of traveling. So that's about me. Not very particular that my parents briefed me that this is Islam and this is well, because they were also changing at that point. So for me, it was more from Quran teacher and Quran classes. And then now I have started, reading more about my religion, getting to know more things, and eventually I'm adopting those things. So it's not just, a 1 day study or a 2 day study. It's basically a lifestyle which, you keep on reading more about it and adopting it and keep changing yourself. So that's pretty much for me. For you?
Yeah. Okay. So bits and pieces of what she said is the same. In our case, like Ramadan is a very special and holy month for the Muslims. So our family used to keep a special focus on that. In our case, like we were boys, and as we were three boys and with one sister, so special focus were on us, like mostly of course, not only the usual practice, but during Ramadan, we were taught some of the basics of what we are doing, and family, because they are practicing Muslims, so we have adopted whatever they have done in the past, and trying to convey the same to the children. Yeah.
Um, explain, okay, there's Quran and there's Hadith. And as I understand it, Hadith was written after the life of the Prophet, and people who knew him or who didn't know him expounded on his teachings. Explain the difference between Quran and Hadith.
Okay. Okay. Quran is a written guideline, yeah, and Hadith is what our Prophet has practiced. And if
Quran is basically the words from Allah, right, which was revealed to our Prophet. And our hadith is basically what our Prophet said. It wasn't what was after he passed away. No, it is basically what he uttered. It was his words. And Sunnah is basically sometimes what he
what is
practiced
practiced,
during his life, and some of the Sunnahs which are the companions told that, he passed away, but, his companions told us, okay, he used to do that. So that is Sunnah, what he practiced even if during his life and afterwards also what we got to know. But hadith is particularly his wordings, whatever he had uttered, we cannot mold it.
I know
And
his
Quran, yeah,
his youngest.
and Quran is basically directly words of Allah which was revealed to him. So he was alive, obviously.
And his
Why was compiled?
Khalifa, I don't know how to say her name, the youngest wife.
Yeah, yeah.
She wrote a lot of. She wrote a lot of.
Yeah. Hazrat Aisha. Yeah. Hazrat Aisha was his wife, and she wrote a lot because he was very close to her, and so he was very close to her, and she knew a lot of things. She observed a lot, and she was a very learned, scholarly person, right? So she recorded a lot of his practices and narrations. Basically, you would call narrations. So whatever he did, said, so she recorded and compiled a lot of hadiths, you can say, and his practices, sunnahs.
Hmm.
Our prophet passed away in her laps, so he was very
Right.
close to her.
Right.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how, like in Afghanistan, the Taliban can say women should stay at home and women shouldn't be in work and women shouldn't be in school, because the Prophet's wives were. His first wife was a businesswoman. She rode a camel. The younger one led troops into battle on a camel. So I don't know where they get this justification that women should be.
No. See, okay. So all the guidelines were there, everything was there, but obviously eventually there's so many sects and so much different school of thoughts that appeared and basically translated and took their part how they understood a concept, right? So this is, I would say, just their part of the story. This is not what we are told to do. In fact, hijab is not something which we do inside the house. It has been prescribed when we go out of the house. In case if Islam was supposed to keep the women inside, why would they come up with the hijab concept? No, they would not. It is a concept. And why it is a concept that when women go out, they're supposed to dress like this. So I don't think there's any such rule.
Our prophet, when he was married, he was married to a trader. She was a businesswoman who used to earn the living, and he was married to her.
And
if
she
this would
proposed
have
to
been,
him.
Yes, yeah. And so if Islamic teachings would have been the way that women have to be in the house, can like whatever is happening, I should not be narrating the name of any country, but whatever is happening, that is not how we are taught. And one thing to add, I'm really looking forward to join you for the coffee. I'm planning to come to Chicago and have a cup of coffee with you. Yeah.
I'm far from Chicago, but I would love to have tea with you.
Yeah. We'll plan something. We'll plan something soon. Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Maybe hopefully end of this year probably, or start of next year. So we are planning to visit USA. Actually, many of my uncle and aunt, they are living in the US. So
I'm in Northern California.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So we'll plan something.
Okay, that would be great. So what led you to university, each of you, and what you chose to study? What were the influences? I'm going to go to university, I'm going to study this, and I'm going to do this profession.
Well, for me, it was primarily my own choice. My parents never forced me to go to the mainstreams, doctor or engineer, which is very common in Pakistan. So for me, business studies, I have always a passion for entrepreneurship. So I chose that field by my choice, and I did pretty well in it. And I'm still, learning a lot about it, planning to teach in a university also once my children reach the age, maybe next year or 2 years afterwards, or maybe online I'll start something. So I chose my field myself. No pressure from, family or friends or anyone else.
Same is the case with me. Like I've done my bachelor's in automotive engineering, so it was a field of my choice. And similarly, in case of my master's in polymers, it is also a field of my choice, and I'm applying the same in our family business also.
Hmm. And then how did you two meet? And was your marriage arranged? Is it a love marriage? What was the connection?
It was arranged
Still,
marriage.
still trying to yeah.
Still trying to manage. Yeah.
No,
So
it was actually like my parents met with their parents
yeah.
at a family event, and actually my parents met her mother and her grandfather. So usually like in Pakistan, most of the pairs, it's not a boy and a girl; it's a match of the families. And
But again, there was no pressure. Like
yeah.
before the entire setup, I was asked that, okay, fine, if you go ahead with it or not. So I had a choice of saying yes or no. It's
Yeah.
not that they said it and I accepted it. No, it wasn't like that.
How did you get to know each other before you decided to get married? I mean, because a lot of times there's like, you shouldn't.
Yeah, phone. We were connected with the mobile and we asked each other our opinions or objectives and,
met
our
together.
plans.
We met. We went to their home. We had a time out to meet each other and get to know each other.
And then we decided.
Yeah.
It wasn't, just at the spur of the moment. So we had good time to, just know each other and then say yes or no. Keeping in mind our boundaries and, set rules, as I said.
A friend of mine who's Indian who lives in New Delhi, she said, I love arranged marriage because I didn't have to go through dating and, act all flirty and deal with all these stupid guys or whatever. She said the fact that I didn't have to date is great.
Yeah.
But she said it took her, I don't know, maybe a year to fall in love with her husband. It took a while to really get to know each other.
I think if your objectives match, that's the primary thing. It's not just all the it's always not a fancy love story that lasts, I think, very short. I mean, the basic purpose should be that your objectives should match and your aims should be synchronized with each other so that you can get along really well. That's it.
In India, they do their astrological chart, but I don't think you do that.
Yeah. They do that. It's not allowed in our religion because we cannot, forecast or do future predictions. We believe that whatever is happening in our life, that is already preordained, that is already written for us, and we just accept it. Yeah, but there's a concept of that we make duas and do istikhara, if you come up with this word. So it's basically there's a dua and we read it and we ask Allah that do this thing if it is good for me or create hurdles and to do it for us. So that's what we do, but we don't go with astrology or reading stars or matching our, I don't know, profiles or something. So whatever is happening, it's our belief is that is already preordained, predestined.
So the marriage was preordained. Really?
Yeah, it's in Quran. We created you in pairs. Our pairs were already decided.
Yeah, the soul decides before it is born.
So we created you in pairs. It's stated in Quran clearly.
And then do you think that what happens after you die, according to what your
Oh,
understanding
that
of
is one
Islam?
of the, I would say primary pillar of our religion, that we have to believe in the hereafter. And that is what motivates us to basically decide what to do and what not to do. For example, we certain times, because it's the social media age, we are also attracted to, dress up like celebrities or wear this and that. But we have to stay focused on whatever we are instructed. Why? Because we have a strong belief in the hereafter, that if you do this, you're going to go to the hell. If you don't do that, you are going to the heaven. So I think this is a primary pillar, a very strong pillar of Islam, which we have to believe. Otherwise, we'll be called as a disbeliever.
What about people who are not exposed to Islam, like some simple tribal person? What happens to
Yeah,
them?
for that, our religion is a very peaceful religion. It doesn't instruct us to force others to, must join this and do this and do that. No. If they get interested in your lifestyle and they want to know more, you just tell them. You educate them. And they are the ones who are going to decide. You tell them the sources. Okay, read about it. If you like it, do it. If you don't, then don't. You get yourself linked to a scholarly person. You read the books. The books comes in many translations in all the languages, and they're authentic. And primarily, like, Quran is a major source, and then you can read about Hadith, and there are translations by many religious scholars, and that's how you learn about it. And once you learn about it, you can clearly decide, okay, I should do this, I shouldn't do this. There are so many people who were writing books, I forgot the name, who were writing books against Islam, anti-Islamic books, but eventually when they read about Islam, they actually accepted it because they found it really true. So it really
What
depends
about
on the person.
people who don't get to know about it? What happens to them?
Well, see, there is a book and you seek guidance. And there is a book, you read it simply. There's no excuse that, okay, I am dead. Oh God, now what should I do? Nobody told me. It's not like that. See, when you can read biology, you can read sociology, you can read other subjects. Why didn't you read about this? There's a book and everybody has access to it. It's not like somebody will come to you and, hand over the book to you. No, there is a book, you read it. If you find it logical, if you find it, if it inspires you, you adopt it and read more about it. It's just simple like any other subject. If I'm interested in business studies, I will keep reading about it. I will get myself connected to various entrepreneurs or attend several meetings or networking sessions. So it's pretty much like any other subject. If you're interested, you will read about it and get yourself connected to the people in the same field.
So it's pretty simple. If you accept the teachings of the Prophet, you go to heaven. If you don't, even if you're not educated about it because you're illiterate, then you go to hell.
Yeah, simple as that.
So there's many different branches of Islam. So tell us, Asad, what's the difference between Sunni, Shia, Ibadi, Sufis? There's so many different branches.
Yeah. Actually, every religion have different sects. Yeah. So it is about the disbelief, the beliefs and the disbeliefs. Some people practice because
Okay, so there are different sects, right?
She'll add more. Yeah.
Now, how these sects came up is basically due to different scholars and different school of thoughts, right? So now there are so many branches that it's difficult to choose. So we basically, like, for example, we didn't choose our sect. We are just following what our parents followed. Like, we are Sunnis and we follow the Hanafi. So we are following Hanafi, and we are just following what our parents did. But yet again, you have to read about it, and there are very minor differences, not too many differences. The basic is, if somebody is new to the religion and doesn't want to get into this, different sects or something like that. So for them, basic is that you get hold of the Quran, this translation, and read about the hadiths. These are the two confidential and authentic sources, right? So, and it is mentioned clearly that this is a responsibility of Allah to protect these things. So there is no modification to it.
Well, I mean, they're they're major political differences. Like Iran is Shia and Saudi is Sunni, and they're major enemies, and they fight around the Middle East over.
Yeah, there are, and like I said, there are different school of thought. So basically, it's because of their scholars. They added their own modifications, their own school of thoughts. So those who followed Shia scholars, they follow them. Those who follow Sunni, they follow them.
But
I think most of the fight, is political. Nothing to do about Islam, or I think mostly is the fight of oil. Like I really don't want to go into the details of what it is. Yeah. So, but that is how it is, because like for example, in Pakistan, there are people living together. Sunni people are here, Shia people are here. Sunni people, we visit Saudi Arabia. Shia people, they visit Iran, and for there, but there's no harm in that. And most of the Hindu people are living here in Pakistan also. Like for example, even in the area we live, there is a church, I guess 3 kilometers away. So it is not mostly, I won't say of course there are belief differences, but I really don't think the fight is mostly about the belief or something, mostly about the other reasons. Yeah.
I thought that one of the splits was over who was the true successor to the prophet, the son-in-law or the
I was
uncle.
about to talk about that. This basically happened. What was the last battle? There was a battle, I forgot the name. So the basically fight was between the two caliphs. So the Shia believes that Hazrat Ali is the superior caliph, and they do not believe in the prior caliphs. And what Sunnis believe that all four are the caliphs equally. So this is a little bit this argument that keeps on continuing. They give importance to Hazrat Ali more, and we give importance to all four of them.
Mm.
So this is where the fight started, and it all started after the death of Prophet. So that's why things are pretty much not clear and sorted. Otherwise, it would have been sorted. But well, basic teachings say the same. They also believe in life after death. We also believe in life after death. So basics are there, but of course there are arguments and disparities when it comes to certain beliefs and importance of events.
Well, I think that Muslims don't believe that the prophet was the son, son of God, divine. They think he was the prophet, the mouthpiece for God, but not God incarnate. Is that true? Whereas Christians tend to believe that Jesus is more than a prophet, is the son of God in some way.
Yeah. That is true. That is true.
And so Jews, the difference is they would say Muhammad was a prophet, Jesus was a prophet, but we're looking for another one that will be the final savior and bring in the judgment.
Yeah. But in Islam, the end of prophecy was the last messenger of Allah, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So in Islam, he was the last prophet. But Jews believe that there's another prophet going to come, and still waiting for another one.
The Jews.
Yeah.
But Muslims aren't waiting for another prophet.
No. Last messenger Muhammad was the end of prophecy, no other revelations. And why I am saying this? Because it is clearly mentioned in Quran, and we follow Quran. We do not, go by scholars or by sects or something. It's clearly stated in Quran. So we just end of story. No other arguments.
I think both Jews and Christians think that there'll be an end time, a judgment where
that is also part of Islam also. This is not just Jews and all. We all believe in the day of judgment, that our records, our deeds are being recorded. Whatever we do is being recorded, and on that particular day, we will have an exam, just like an examination kind of a thing. Whoever has more good deeds will go to the heaven. Whoever has bad deeds go to hell.
But doesn't that happen when we die? We're not waiting for something.
No. When you die, you are your soul is taken away, and you are in a state of barzakh, we say in our religion. We do not end up in heaven or hell when we die. After death, we are in a state of barzakh, which is not clear what happens to the soul. But yes, what happens in the grave, that is somehow mentioned in Quran. Like for example, somebody who has missed prayers, they will have let's say heat in the grave or snakes in the grave or something like that. But when you die right after that, there is no concept of going to hell or heaven. That will be after the day of judgment, not before that.
I wonder if it's like the Catholics used to have the concept of purgatory, like an in-between stage.
Yeah, they
Purgatory.
also follow that to some extent, but I don't have sound knowledge about their religion that much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that the basic beliefs of Islam are summed up in the 6 articles of faith, the 6 pillars?
Yeah, yeah.
And what
Of
are
course, yeah.
they? What are those pillars?
Angels, books, like I said, decree, preordainment, right? Life after death. And if you talk about pillars of Islam, so we have oneness of Allah, we have fasting, prayers, zakat, right, and Hajj.
Have you been to Hajj?
No, but we're planning to. Let's see. He has been to Hajj.
I've been to Hajj. I've been to Hajj.
People say it's amazing because everybody's in white. There's no class differences. It's really a very spiritual, mystical experience. What was it like for you?
Yeah, actually, it's mostly the basic. Like first, I would like to add what she have told you about the pillars. Pillars are mostly, for example, one is zakat. Zakat is like giving to
Charity.
the charity, giving to the poor. So it's like if I am having something good, then everyone should have the same lifestyle as of I am. And Islam also teaches us, for example, Hajj is spiritual. It is going to the house of Allah, but it is said that if you have a loan of someone, or maybe if you have some uh, bindings from the your local life, so you are supposed to focus that first and then go to Allah and go to for Hajj. And once you are there, it's mostly like even same is the case with prayer also. Like for example, if I am someone maybe of the elite class, or maybe I earn more, or maybe someone else he earns less, so all of us pray in the same line. Similarly, in Hajj, all of us wear white, and we only follow the principle, not thinking about if it's right, if it's wrong, but only follow what is said. So it's mostly about
Basically,
what is
it
being followed.
encourages brotherhood and unity and equality. All are equal under the eyes of Allah. It's not like one is superior, only Allah is superior. So that's how, we get to believe the concept of oneness of Allah strongly, because everybody else is equal. He's the most superior.
And that's a beautiful thing about Islam is the Prophet taught that we should look out for other people. And
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Helping the society and, helping each other. Because obviously that creates lovely bonds and brotherhood. Otherwise, there'll be so much hatred and comparison, I would say.
you know you know like you must have heard about Ramadan. Yeah, after Ramadan, Muslims we celebrate Eid. Yeah, the basic concept of Eid is before going for the prayer, you pay some amount of money in charity, so that the people who cannot afford is also part of the special celebration. And similarly, is there's another part of Eid in which we sacrifice animals, and that is the same in
Shared amongst
that
the
case.
poor.
Yeah, that you keep one portion to yourself and distribute others to other people who have not eaten meat. Maybe for, of course, there are people, so many people below the poverty line who may have not eaten meat for the whole year. So not it's a basic guideline is it's not that you keep the meat to yourself and not distribute, but it is advised to distribute among all others. Yeah.
well, how did you feel differently after doing Hajj, Asad? How did it change you spiritually?
Yeah, it changed me, especially like I'm more focused now, and you have seen this. Yeah, I've put this after Hajj. Earlier does not. You, yeah, yeah. So of course, especially maybe more inclined to towards Islam, and
So basically,
thinking more.
I would add to it. I haven't done it, but the basic thing is that the reward is so much that when you are done with Hajj and you come out as a newborn baby, all your evil deeds are washed away, all your sins are washed away. So when that is such a big reward that you automatically feel like, okay, now everything is gone, every bad I've done in the past has been wiped off. So why not just start a new chapter with a new beginning with the good deeds, right? So the reward is so much that you obviously in your mind there is, okay, fine, now I have to do everything good, so there's no bad. Because the main objective, like again I said, is life after that. You have to prepare for it. You're not here for the in this life forever, right? You have to die, and what happens after death is forever.
Mhm.
So we're more focused. We should be more focused towards that.
I need to take a little break because I have a guy who's going to work in my yard. So can we just, give me a couple minutes? My dog is telling me he's here.
Okay, sure,
Oh,
no
you can
problem.
get some tea.
Sure. You can have some cheesecake.
Never mind, it's not him.
Asher, come. Asher, Asher, come to Dada. Come to Dada. Hurry up. What's going on?
Yeah, that was good to have time with the kids. So not knowing each other, not having lived with each other, or knowing each other's personal habits when you first got married, what were the issues that came up and how did you work through them, getting to know each other?
The issues were very minor issues in terms of, I'm more of a cleanliness freak. He's not. He's more organized when it comes to wardrobe, and he's a morning person. I'm a night person. So issues were very basic and minor, not something very major. So that is something you can, compromise on.
So compromise was the key.
Yeah, of course.
And how did your religious belief help you work through your relationship growth?
It did pretty much. Like I said, our religion is very complete. It's so explicit. It have guidelines on each and every topic, not just not just restricting us. A lot of people think that Islam is a very restricting religion. It's not like that. We have guidelines about all the aspects of life, be that delivering kids, raising kids, or marriage, or your childhood, any topic you talk about it. So yeah, it has a prime focus on respect, that couples should have respect for each other. And it has huge chapters on women rights, and also a lot of rules for women to follow in terms of keeping the husband happy, and all these things. So yes, it did help us. It did help us. And whenever
Earlier question, your question before this has been my favorite question since 7 years. Yeah. So most of it she have already told. Another thing is like time. Yeah, like
he's very punctual, I'm
yeah.
not.
How long have you been married now?
6 years.
6 years, yeah.
So you didn't wait very long to have a baby.
Yeah. Good question.
It's a common tradition.
No,
Like
it's not more about this.
First mostly people who are married, like in Pakistan, I guess most of the people they have a kid in the first year. Like the other two happened is maybe because we were not too cautious, but yes, once they are here, so we are now managing with them. Yeah.
Mm. Do you plan to have more, or is 3 enough?
No. We're done.
I think that the worst thing about the Taliban and the Saudis and the Iranians is they give a global negative view of attitudes towards women, that women should be subordinate and stay home. And in Iran and Saudi Arabia, they're not in government, or in Afghanistan. So
We talk about Saudi now, so I think it's more like a very easygoing, fashionable state, and has gone totally against the religious rules. They have concerts there. They have proper fashion shows there. Driving is allowed. Even going out without a mahram is allowed. So now the things are pretty changed.
In the case
no,
of Pakistan,
they still, in Saudi, still have the guardianship rule. You can't do anything without your husband's or
No,
father's.
that has changed.
Not,
I don't know what is being practiced, but recently what I saw is that there were concerts and fashion shows going on there, and
yeah, concerts, but that doesn't. If my guardian tells me I can't go to the concert, I can't go.
maybe they belong to a particular sect or something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's nothing like that.
yeah, because in Pakistan we had one Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, a very famous figure. Even in the US, she was the Prime Minister, and even now our Foreign Minister, her name is Hina Rabbani Khar. She has been traveling all around. Is a woman, so it varies in different
From place
parts.
to place, maybe,
Yeah, maybe in Malaysia you see or Indonesia you see a different kind of culture of what people are practicing. In maybe Saudi Arab or maybe Afghanistan, it's a kind of different extreme altogether. But it is different, yeah.
It's
So
different.
as she said, based on everyone's belief, like whatever, even if there's something is said, then I have a different understanding of what is being said. You have a different understanding of what is being said. So I think it's mostly about the understanding what people are gaining.
Women are pretty much freely mobile in Islam as far as you follow the proper dressing. Dressing is the only thing I think there is a focus. Otherwise, there's no issue. You're dressed properly, you're modest enough, you can walk out in streets, you can seek jobs, you can seek knowledge, you can fight, you can take any position you want.
Did the Prophet say to wear hijab? What did he say about that?
Yeah, it is. It is compulsion. It is compulsory in Quran and Hadith both.
Because it's just it implies that men are kind of wild animals that are easily tempted.
Yeah.
So you have to
The,
keep.
the only reason for him to recommend hijab is so that, because if they say this is a common factor in case of men, or maybe all around men all around the world, or maybe how the genes of men are there, is they get attracted, yeah. So he recommended. He said, okay, if in case of Islam or maybe Muslim, we are allowed to have 4 wives, yeah. So it does not allow us not to enjoy the pleasure, I would say. But compulsion is, okay, you have nikah, and then you have marriage with the woman. Okay, you can have four women uh, at one time, but not to go on for negative works. Yeah.
Basically the modesty is focused mostly because if you're immodest, it basically adds to so many evil acts in the society, right? Fornication is common, attraction, illegal relations, depression, anxiety, and all these things.
Abortions.
So there are so many kids that are born without any marriage globally. They don't have any house, or they're just lying here and there. So this particular thing protects you from all the evils of the society. So it's a compulsion. It's not like you do it or not do it. It's not a choice. Hijab is a compulsion. You have to do it if you are a believer.
Well, Iranian young women are not doing it as a political statement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now the things, because of social media influence and a lot of, I would say, lack of knowledge, people are not doing it. Even in our Pakistan, people are not doing it. In India, Muslims are not doing it. So we can see after puberty, we can only advise our children, not we can force them. They know what is right and wrong. Simple as that. You do it or not, they will suffer the consequences. It's not that, they are Muslims, they have been praying and they're not doing hijab, so they'll go to heaven. No, it's not like that. You have to follow what is obligation on you, and it is an obligation. Only then you can, have a better life after death.
An interesting thing to think about is we have Allah, our destiny, our kind of our life script or map that we come in with, but where's the role for free will? So we do have free will as humans. How does that play out with Allah's will, my will? How much individual?
For free will, in our cases, we have a place called as heaven after death. So there you can enjoy your free will, whatever that is not free will का मतलब अपनी मर्जी का होना क्या है क्या वही पे करना क्या जन्नत के अंदर
can you repeat your question? You're asking that we are allowed to choose and then everything is written, right? That's what you're asking,
saying,
right?
what's the role of free will if I believe that Allah is responsible for everything in my life? What about my responsibility or my free will?
See, he is responsible for everything, but he ordered us to seek knowledge and guidance. He ordered us to follow his book. If you are following his book, then you know what to follow and what not to, right? Then you know you have to do this, you don't have to do this. So that's where I think importance is, that if you believe in oneness of Allah, if you know that he has written everything for you, then you are also following what he instructed. So when you're already following what he instructed, then obviously you'll end up in a good place.
Okay.
And it is also written in his book that it's not like whatever good happens, it happens because of Allah, and whatever bad happens, it happens because of me. You cannot blame yourself, right? All happens because of him, but you have to continuously seek guidance, knowledge, and act. Action is your choice, not his choice. He is not moving your hands, you are moving your hands, but based on your knowledge.
Right. Okay. Say a word more about Ramadan, because it seems like for Muslims it's the most special time of the year. It's like
Quran was revealed in this month, so that's why it's more important. And then we are supposed to fast. We have to keep a fast and stay hungry for hours, and then we have to break the fast. And it is medically proven to have scientific benefits on your health also. It helps to prevent cancers and your antibodies develop. So even scientifically, it is also proven to be, people are doing intermittent fasting and all that now. So it's basically part of our religion.
First step of Ramadan you can add is like staying hungry for long hours is how you also feel of less privileged people, how they feel when they have no food. And that is why we are advised, like during Ramadan or maybe all around the year, we are very advised to have a look on them also. And Ramadan gives us a feeling during this time that how they feel when they have nothing to eat or maybe nothing to drink. So everyone feels the same. And then it is said like in life you understand one thing or oneself once you get into that person's shoes. So like it is most that month is a month of hunger, so that we understand whatever is going on with the less privileged people. That is how it is.
Yeah, Maheen and I have a mutual friend, Hassan, and I talking to him, it seemed like it was a spiritual high for him. It was really an up time. It isn't just like suffering. It's like really you really feel it's like a mystical experience somehow. Ramadan.
Yeah, of course, you have to stay hungry for long hours. You have to pray. The reward for every prayer doubles up, and automatically everybody is on the same path. So there is all goodness happening in this 1 month, and then there is Eid. So there is this, environment is as such that there's everybody is following the same path. Everybody is being good. There's no bad coming on. And the best thing, Satans are chained up in this month. So, you're more inclined towards good deeds. So the biggest importance of this month is the Quran was revealed in this month. Rewards doubles up. Whatever you do, the rewards piles up and doubles up, right? And Satans are chained up. So these three things makes it a really holy month.
Can I see your sons?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
yes,
laughing.
Hi.
Say hello.
What a beautiful child. Hello.
Asher, say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello. Hi.
Say hi.
Asher, say hello.
What's your
He's happy
name?
to see you.
What's
your
your name?
Asher.
Oh,
Asher.
like your dad.
Yeah,
Yes.
similar, quite similar.
Yeah.
How
Actually,
old
it's-
are you?
How old are you, Asher?
6.
He's 5-year-old.
Five. What do you like to do for fun?
Asher, what do you like to do for fun?
Coloring.
You let him talk. What do you enjoy the most in your free time?
Coloring.
Coloring.
You're an artist. Oh, that's
Yes.
good. You're speaking English with him and Urdu. So he's bilingual, right?
Yeah. Next stage would be Arabic for sure.
And do you two speak Arabic or read Arabic?
No, I can read it, but we do not speak it right now. But we plan to make our kids learn it.
Ah, wonderful. What
Even he, has an idea of hell and heaven. So I usually ask him that, should I dress up like this or go immodest? What would you like me to do it? So Asher, if I take this off, should I take it off or no? No? Why? Why shouldn't I take it off? He's saying that he will go to fire if you take it off.
Oh, but you
That's
you
how
don't wear it at home, right?
No, not at home. Right now I'm at my in-laws, I'm just wearing it. Otherwise at home I'm not wearing it.
Yeah. That's so why do you think that Islam is the fastest growing religion? I think I'm correct about that. It's growing faster than Christianity.
It is because now the scholars have access to social media, right? Before that, they were limited to certain places. They used to go on foreign trips to give dawah to people, to give what do you call dawah? To spread Islam. They would visit places,
Missionary.
but that was confined to limited people only. Now I think social media has a great impact, and scholars have access to it, because of which a lot of people can get access to it and think about it and read about it and seek knowledge and get connected.
Mm-hmm. Because they have similar messages. You should believe in my religion because you'll have salvation. You'll go to heaven.
Yeah.
Both Christianity and Islam say that. I wonder, do you think that it conflicts? I mean, or do you think they kind of work together?
What happened? It doesn't. It conflicts in some things, but what happened was that our prophet was the last prophet, right? And his book was Quran, which is not changed. What happened prior to that was there were different prophets, and books were revealed to them also, but the books were amended. So when there was amendments there, so of course there was a conflict. This is the only book which is not amended yet. Its protection is under God's protection. So that's what we believe. So it's not amended yet. The rest of the books were edited, amended. There are different versions to it. That's why, but the core belief remains the same. They also believe in life after death. Maybe there are different more beliefs to it, but the basics, I guess, are pretty much similar. And we are also told to believe in the prior prophets. It's not that we don't believe in their prophets. We do believe in the rest of the prophets. They're example for us to see guidance. It's not that we are not believing in them. We believe in the books, 4 books that was revealed. We believe in the prophets that come before our prophet. We believe in all that.
Before Quran, there were like other 3 books are Torah, the Bible, and the third one is the Psalms of David, and fourth is the Quran. So all of them have this similar teachings, and all of them have words about the Prophet coming after. So, like, but at Quran, like, it has the teaching of all with its own teaching, and it said, okay, it is the last book, and you have to follow. It is.
The main difference is it's not edited, amended, or nothing humanly interference in that. The
Bible,
rest of the books have different
yeah.
versions and human interference.
But Bible also have the similar understanding what
But it is amended.
most of it what the Quran has. Yeah,
It is amended.
you know,
Um,
they keep fast also,
Well, I
and
forgot if the Quran the Prophet didn't write down his teachings, did he? It was written down after his death, the Quran.
Yeah, it was compiled after that.
during you know,
During the Khilafah.
जो लोग सुनते थे
The companions used to write. But during when he was alive also, the companions used to write. It's not that nobody used to write. But companions used to write, yes, not he himself. He
Mm,
used to practice, obey, and instruct, I would say.
mm.
Companions were the one who used to write.
you
Some
know, the first teaching of Quran was to study.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Ikra, Ikra, to study. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it has never, and it has never stopped anything about not to study, or it has spread studying. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Um, so what does it teach about the role of women and men? Because Jesus didn't make any distinctions between men's roles, women's roles. Paul said women should look to their husband as their head. What do you get from the teachings about how men and women should relate?
Very broad spectrum, I would say, and there is so much to it that there are certain boundaries. We also believe that men should be looked up as the guardians of the house. So it's the same over here also, but it's such a broad spectrum that it has a lot of things to it. In certain fields, women are being given more importance. In certain fields, men. So it's a very vast field, and there are different hadiths and Quranic revelations to it. So yeah, but men are given a few hands superior. They are more superior to the women. But
Why?
that does not mean that women rights are not that much. Why? Because they are emotionally more strong, which is that is what is the main belief, that they're emotionally more strong, and emotionally women are a little weak. They are too much, So, this is the main thing, right? They are the main breadwinners of the family, but that does not mean that women cannot, right? So it's not like they cannot, they can, but to some extent men are given this um, privilege more, when it comes to earning and taking care of the house and being the guardian.
But you know, same benefits are being given to the women also. Like in some of the religion, women are not offered shared in the property,
Yeah, we are
or
giving
maybe
shared
like
in the
even
property.
in the Hindu, she is not allowed to marry again once her husband has died. But it is not the case in case of Islam. Islam, after the husband dies, so it's there is a period of mourning, and once the period of mourning is over, she's allowed to get married, settle her life. Yeah.
Do you know people that have more than one wives? Does anyone do that anymore?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
like
advised,
that.
like if you can keep a balance, if
And
you can keep
equality between all.
between the
So then
two,
that's fine.
maybe between the two or between the three, then only you are allowed. And if you cannot keep the balance between the two wives or maybe three wives, then you are advised not to have more than one. Yeah, it is how to say.
Would
Why,
you
please?
have more than one?
Good question. My sister-in-law is saying one is more than enough.
I think so. It's complicated to have
It is complicated.
two people and children and work and all. I don't know how anybody does it.
Especially
That's
the financial crisis we have in Pakistan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Mahan, what kind of work did you do after you graduated from college? You said you'll probably do university teaching after the kids are older.
Well, I was involved in teaching and few of the US Embassy projects. But once after my kids,
She has helped us in our human resource department. Like she has sorted out some of the policies because I told her that I have a different belief. What is the point of her studying and not being part of, for example, like her education needs to be used rather than she has
excuse me, Pam.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
she has done some education, though I advise like she's supposed to use it. Even like I used to be an engineer, and I usually does not have a good financial background. They, at the start of my job, and I asked her, okay, if you can help me, if you can help me with some of my even financial work. So she also did that. So that is how my thinking is, that a woman needs to support everyone. Yeah.
Hmm. Bedtime for the boys, huh?
Yeah.
But
One
do you
we have
have
made one sleep, yeah, around here.
do you have friends who have more than one wife that are young? I mean, do young people actually do that?
Yeah, actually, there it is very common. Depends upon the need of the family. Yeah. For example, like if the first wives allow to have second wife, so it's nothing, not of, although maybe not very common, but nothing as usual. Yeah. Even in there are people who, like, for example, for pleasure, yeah, as it is advised, okay, for pleasure, whatever you have to do, you have to do in a married relationship. So maybe if the first wives allows, okay, if I have some medical issue or maybe I have some health issue, you can go for the second wife. So it is advisable, not something what you might have not heard of. Yeah.
And do they live in separate households or they live in the same house?
Some lives in the same house, some lives in the separate house, but as I told you, that requirement is that there has to be justice between both of them.
That's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. If like in case of Pakistan or maybe like in Malaysia, Indonesia, most of the people they lives in apartments or maybe flats. So you can have and flats would have maybe 3-4 rooms, so maybe more. You can keep both of them together, but of course both of them will have different days. Yeah. If one for 3 days for one wife, 3 days for another wife in the night time, and for the day they can live together, they can eat together, there's no harm in it, and maybe help raising the children. I have some of my friends who are practicing doing it, and they it is common, quite common. Yeah. One of my friends, he has recently got married because his wife was diagnosed with cancer, and doctor has told her that like she has some less living years, so they have kids with her. So he has married again, so that the second one can get used to the kids during her presence and can look after the kids after her death. Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's tough, yeah.
Hmm. What we hear in the news is floods in Pakistan, economic problems in Pakistan,
Yeah.
Chinese influence in Pakistan. What's going on?
Yeah, floods. 5 months ago, there were floods in Pakistan that had been the most havoc in the. If you compare to maybe 75 years of Pakistan history, one of the most havoc, and which because of which economic condition has worsened down, because maybe so many parts of Sindh, so many parts of Balochistan, they have so many parts of our upper province. So because it has come into flood, so people have lost a lot of money. They've lost a lot of money. They've lost their houses. They've lost their jobs, and because of which economic condition is getting bad. And similarly, as because Pakistan is mostly dependent on the IMF conditions. and because the IMF loan is not restated, so we are facing tough scenarios in the business sector. Yeah.
Right.
But mostly it is affected worsen because of the flood situation, and government, whatever steps they had taken earlier to make situations better for the flood affected areas, but fortunately or unfortunately it was against what IMF have guided them, which is why the IMF program cannot be reinstated, and we are in a very bad economic situation there.
Ah,
Sorry, if it's possible, we can do it any other day, because it's actually 11,
it's really late, I
11,
know.
11:30.
No,
So
I think
sorry, but it's been a pleasure talking to you, sharing